my name's Elizabeth. Um, I usually go by my initials, EMV, and I'm just going to be live coding. So today, I'm going to start with building just a regular portfolio page for myself. I haven't actually gotten around to doing that. Okay, this is getting to be like, let's just decide also, what is our MVP? So our MVP is just going to be a single page application that shows that I can code. That's all it needs to be for 2 seconds. I can't believe I'm blanking on this, but this is exactly why I'm doing this, because I really need to learn how to talk in this space again, because it's been a while since I've coded, and actually maybe this is like a good opportunity to talk about myself and kind of figure it out. So I started my career in administrative work, and I was an executive assistant. I gave that up to go move to Korea, where I taught English for a year. And then I moved back to the US and I did political fundraising, and that's actually what I still do currently. So I fundraise for campaigns. And in the midst of that, I kind of got burnt out and decided what I really would like to do is coding. It was something I was interested in college, but I was told by the advisor that I have no experience in coding and I shouldn't do that, so I should do like English or something instead. So I ended up getting a master's in English because I literally had no idea what to do. And I'm finally remembering what I'm trying to think of now that I've been talking so long. But now it's, over a decade plus after college. I'm married. We don't have kids except for a dog, so it's kind of like this is the time now. So I did Codesmith, which is an immersive coding bootcamp, and I always believe that coding bootcamps are kind of the things where it's like you get as much as you give. So I gave a lot, but there was just a lot of gaps that I felt like needed to be closed, and those were things where I should have educated myself more before I went into the bootcamp. And so now I'm trying to get back into that. It's kind of like learning Korean, kind of like learning any language. If you're not constantly immersed in it, it's just really hard to stay in it and keep it. And this is a skill I want to move into my career from. As much as I love political fundraising, and I do. I like helping my candidates. This is what I want to be able to do. Is the joy and the rush I get from solving a problem is just so worth it. What is the tech stack? So I'm used to working with Webpack. I've built my own Webpack from scratch multiple times, but I think I'm going to use Vite for this round. Vite is just going to be less bulky overall than Webpack for what I'm doing. It's just a single page website at the moment, and even if it becomes more pages, it doesn't need to be that heavy like Webpack is. Actually, for the back end, we're going to be using Node.js. There's just a huge library for Node. I know maybe Node is not everyone's favorite with everything going on with like a huge phishing scam happening. It's kind of wild that that's happening, and that a bunch of libraries were kind of put in peril. But that being said, Node just has a really big library. It has a huge community. If there's any issue that I have, the back end is where a lot of problems tend to happen. So I'd like to have the biggest, widest community I can have for solving issues. And that's where Node is at the moment. Part of me wants to continue with React because it's a technology that has, again, another huge library, another huge community. And so there's always going to be somebody who's encountered a similar problem to me, and I'll be able to find the solution. But I am also thinking, Vue has a simpler syntax. It has really clear documentation. So I think it won't be difficult to take on. And also it's a small project, so it doesn't need to be something large and complex, which is where React might shine better compared to something like Vue, where this is just a small project for me to just kind of get me back into that space, to get me back into learning how to code, learning how to talk, and communicate technically. So let's see npm run preview. you are using Node. Vite requires Node 20.19. Please upgrade your Node version. Brew. Okay, well, I do have Homebrew, so we do brew upgrade Node, I think is what it is. Okay, let's see what happens when I do. Bam. See what happens if I do that. So now let's do npm run. Let's just run dev. Can't go. Oh, okay, here we go. Error when starting dev. Crypto.hash is not a function. Where is this coming? You are using Node 20.10. Vite requires Node version 20.19. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Okay, no, dang it. Node. Let's check the version of Node I have. I have 20. Why is this still 20.10? I guess that's a problem I'm gonna have to figure out a little bit. I'm not sure if that's really what's causing the issues. We'll figure it out. Okay, so we'll figure it out. And so for today, what we managed to complete on day one is we started our README. We have our folder layout. We installed Vite. We kind of picked a goal date that I want to have this finished by, which is December 12th. You know, keeping in mind that I'm only going to be spending basically 4 hours on this. It's just going to be 1 hour a week, literally. We picked a tech stack, and now we ran into our first problem, which is trying to figure out why my Node version is still 20.10 despite me upgrading to Homebrew. So I guess that's a problem that we'll be solving next time. But still, you know, thank you very much. I'm excited to solve these problems and excited to get back into being able to technically communicate and figure out all these things. And after this portfolio, I'm kind of excited about what bigger projects I can take on. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me, and have a good night.